As per requested, I'm going to start covering a few more NinjaBike builds. These won't be focused on specifically running the Resistance solo, but there will be a certain amount of emphasis on ensuring that they're capable of it. The build I'll show in this video isn't the only way of running Resistance solo. This is just one of the many. I've chosen to start with this one because it also offers another team role into the mix of builds I've shown so far, the tank build. In this video, I'll run you through the build with the next video showing you how to use it to farm the Resistance mode solo. And why the Resistance? Because currently this is the easiest, most consistent way for a solo player to get classified gear outside of the global events. As a solo player running the Resistance, or any other PvE game mode for that matter, the number one priority is staying alive. In the solo build video, I talked about the Nomad build's constant healing and extra life. With this build, we're going to face tank. Though it can be a little bit one-dimensional in playstyle, the D3 FNC set really does fill the role of making the user feel like a tank. It's focused mainly around damage resistance and the ballistic shield, with the most notable feature being that it allows the use of an SMG while also holding the shield. But staying alive isn't quite enough. We need to be able to take down the NPCs, particularly if running the more difficult content. So special focus needs to be put into the gear and weapon talents to ensure that you have enough in the way of damage output so that you can take down enemies before they blast your way through your shield. This build isn't just useful when run solo, it also runs quite a useful role when part of a team. The shield's default 200% threat increase will have most enemies targeting you first, allowing the rest of the team to really crank out the damage. With any build video I post up, you should be using these as a guide only. The intention is for you to use them as a starting point and then adapt them to your style of play. I'll do my best to show a few different options within the builds, but you need to try these out and make the choice for yourself. As per usual, I'll be keeping this as short and concise as possible. At the end I'll have a cheat sheet that will sum up the build covered in this video. Please let me know in the comments if I can provide a little more detail. Firstly, you may have noticed that the set pieces you see on screen are classified gear. This is simply because of the lack of stash space means that I need to dismantle all non-classified set pieces in order to have space for everything. The only difference in this situation is that the classified gear has slightly higher main attributes, but most of this is far from optimized, so the numbers you see here shouldn't be far from what you can achieve with non-classified gear. This build consists of 3-piece D3 FNC, 1-piece Nomad, 1-piece Tacticians, and the NinjaBike messenger bag. I've tried running this through the Resistance without a NinjaBike bag, just using the 4-piece D3 FNC, and it is possible to open up a couple of the reward chests, but it's quite a bit more difficult. With the NinjaBike we're gaining the 4-piece D3 FNC, 2-piece Tacticians and 2-piece Nomad bonuses, Skill Haste and Health on Kill. This build heavily relies on having that big fat bullet sponging shield in front of you. So if for some reason it goes down, it's quite important that you get it back as quickly as possible, and this is where skill haste is important. But even with the shield up, you'll still have a certain amount of damage landing on your body, so health on kill is also heavily required. 3 pieces have been rolled into stamina and 2 into electronics. This should leave you with more than 6k stamina and around 5k electronics. As the 4-piece D3 bonus states, ballistic shield health is increased by 57% for every 3000 stamina. You could try for 9k stamina to get the maximum out of this bonus, but you'd actually end up with less shield health due to your skill power being quite low. So for this reason, I'd recommend aiming for 6k stamina and putting everything else into electronics and skill power. The other advantage to this is that your second skill, the support station, will come back faster and last longer, and you'll find this quite important when running the Resistance. Skill power has been rolled onto the knee pads and backpack, with more skill haste onto the chest and holster. Enemy armor damage into the chest, mask and gloves, and damage to elites onto the mask and knee pads. As per usual, ammo capacity has been rolled onto the chest and backpack. This is particularly important with this build as you'll go through a lot of ammo. As per the D3 set requirements, you'll need a good SMG. I'd recommend the House if you have one, but an MP5 or AUG with the right talents will do the job. Here I'm using the MP5 ST. Mine isn't the best example as it has most of its talents locked, but I've used this to show that the House isn't required in order for this build to be successful. Some of the weapon talents to aim for are Destructive for extra damage, Predatory to help keep that constant flow of health replenishment, and Responsive in the 3rd slot. This is another good boost to your damage, particularly useful with this build as most of your fighting will be up close. I recommend that your secondary weapon is something with a bit more range. You'll only be using it for times when you're dropping back into cover to allow your shield to recharge or if you're trying to conserve your SMG ammo. In this example, I'm using a lightweight M4 with Destructive, Predatory, and Determined. So in this case, I'm also using it as a way to keep my signature skills off cooldown. Obviously, the Ballistic Shield is a must for this build. I've used the Ammo Cache Support Station as the second skill mainly for running through Resistance, where ammo doesn't drop from downed NPCs, so it's quite necessary in order to slow down your ammo usage. Outside of Resistance, you may choose to instead run something like Immunizer, or even the First Aid Defib to help keep teammates on their feet. It's particularly useful with squishy team members. The talents I'm running are Combat Medic. This is probably the most important talent, as this enables your medkits to be able to heal your shield. With this build, the medkits are better used for healing your shield than your health, because generally, if you have your shield up, your health won't be an issue due to all of your health on kill perks. Precision, for extra damage. This is quite easy to proc with this build because you'll be quite close to most enemies. On the Move, to reduce incoming damage after killing an enemy. And One is None. Again, because headshots are relatively easy to land with this build, this talent will help reduce the amount of reloading and ammunition you go through. The gear mods are Firearms, Damage to Elites. These could instead be swapped out for Electronics, but I would still keep these as Damage to Elites. Because your firearms are so low, you'll need these talents to help increase your damage over time. The performance mods are Ballistic Shield Damage Resilience. I highly recommend these because the damage resilience is also applied to your body when the shield is out. This has considerable impact on your overall tankiness. Even if you're being flanked, you can take a lot more damage to the body than usual. Keep cover and walls behind you. You're strong, but flanking is a very real threat to this build. It's important to keep your shield up. If you let it drop, you'll be vulnerable, and you'll need to wait 18 seconds before you can redeploy it. So instead of dropping it and running for cover, get into the habit of keeping enemies in front of you and backing yourself into cover. Under constant fire, the shield won't last forever, so don't forget to keep an eye on your shield health and repair it using a medkit, or utilize cover in order to give it a chance to replenish. You'll still take quite a number of hits to the body, but as long as you're getting kills, your health will be at max. If you want to change weapons with the shield out, for example, you want to change to a pistol to conserve ammo, or maybe swap to another SMG, you'll need to either enter cover or enter the running animation. You can't change them over as usual while the shield is out in front of you. And that's pretty much it. Try not to get flanked, keep an eye on your shield health, get kills to keep your health topped up. This is a super easy build to run, but this can sometimes make it a little boring to play. However, if you have some team members that aren't very well geared, this is one of the best types of builds to carry people through missions, because you'll be attracting most of the gunfire. As I said at the start, I'll be releasing another video very soon showing how this build can be run through the Resistance in order to farm for classified gear. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video, hopefully you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!
Ah, damn it!